Hey there, this is Lisa from Rising Strong Mental Health and Resilience podcast. Today, we're taking a quick but deep dive into 3 daily habits that contribute to mental well being. I think that we're all looking for those quick things, those easy things that can really move the needle in how we feel every day. There's no surprises here, but I am going to give you the reasons behind why these things are so powerful. Because I think as humans, yes, we are looking for the easy button, but I think when things make sense, when there is a reason behind them, sometimes that compels us to actually do the things. So, number one, hands down, at least in my situation, is physical activity. Physical activity affects everything we do. It helps us sleep better. And let's not forget those wonderful things called endorphins. I know for myself, when I have been at the lowest points in my life, for example, after we lost our daughter in a car accident, I would get on my treadmill and I would run and run and run. Now, disclaimer, full honesty, I am not a runner. It is not a pretty thing to watch me run. I am more like a plotter, and even that is being nice. So I'm not built to run. I don't love to run, but what that did for me was it gave me those endorphins, and those endorphins gave me the belief that I could continue to survive this terrible tragedy. Did it make me happy? No. Did it erase all the stuff that my family was going through at that time? No way. But it did help me because of those endorphins. It also helped me sleep better. For anybody who knows me well, knows that sleep is my nemesis. Sleep and I do not get along most days. I'm getting better. But the more I am active, and it doesn't have to be running. It could be yoga. It could be stretching while you watch the Super Bowl. It might be yoga on your lunchtime or walking the dog around the block a couple times a day. But the more active we are, the less stress we feel, the more capable we feel of coping with our current situation, whatever that is. And there's many studies out there that also show that our cognitive function increases, meaning it helps us with our memory, it helps us with our attention span. And as you know, getting older, those are important things. And physical activity can also help us with our confidence, right? You get into the gym, you move your body a little bit more, you feel physically better, you're going to be more confident. And confidence doesn't just have to be in the way we look, our appearance. Sometimes confidence is just knowing that you can get through the day, knowing that you can cope, knowing that you feel like you're more capable of coping. The second daily habit that hands down contributes to better mental health, and I've actually just touched on this a little bit, that's sleep. Yes. And there's a million reasons why we don't sleep. We are busy humans. I always think of it as having all these tabs open in my brain, just like I have so many tabs open on my computer at any given moment. And I've started doing this thing, and it might sound bizarre, but it seems to be working. As I climb into bed, I mentally picture that all of these tabs in my brain, I'm clicking them, I'm Xing them off. And I don't even have to know what those tabs say. I don't have to know what those tabs are, but it's just a mental exercise. It takes me about 10 seconds of just clicking off the tabs. I will deal with the things tomorrow. That has helped me immensely. But on that note, sleep hygiene is incredibly important. Now, if any of you have had kids and you remember the sleep training that we all did with our kids, the best advice out there, and still stands today, is a bedtime schedule. And everybody's might be different, but there's a schedule. Whatever it looks like, maybe it looks like this. Maybe you give your child a nice, warm, relaxing bath. Then they have a snack. Then they have a story and a cuddle with mom or dad. Then they might choose out a favorite stuffed animal to cuddle with. Then they go to bed. And by doing the same things in the same order every night, the child learns that all of these little steps mean the next step is sleep. And while we might think that we are above that as adults, I assure you that we're not. And actually, having some kind of bedtime routine is helpful for adults to go to sleep as well. Probably the worst thing that we can do for ourselves is to read our phones at bedtime. I'm just going to look up this article. I'm just going to read this thing because I forgot to look up this thing I was interested in. But even the light alone from our phones triggers our brain to stay awake. So you're far better off to read a mind-numbing book. You don't want to read about physics or, some kind of engineering project where you have to think. Fluff, honestly, is best. Chicken Soup for the Soul is an important or an excellent example, I should say, of a book that you could read before bed. It makes you feel good. You can pick it up and read any particular story. They're all short stories. Anyone, you don't have to go in order, but it's a short amount of reading, gets your brain tired, feels relaxed, your eyes start getting tired. But if you can get into some kind of routine, it actually does help you fall asleep. And the more you sleep, the better you're going to feel. I just did a presentation a couple of weeks ago on sleep, and it actually says that, unless we're getting 7 to 9 hours, we are not getting enough. And we have this idea that seniors or older adults don't need the same sleep, and that actually has been proven to be wrong. But our sleep, as you know, helps regulate our emotions. Who out there besides me is a hot mess, crying quite regularly when things don't go well because I have no coping capabilities without sleep? Now, your capabilities or lack thereof might come out in anger or other ways, but we can't cope when we don't have the sleep. And of course, there's many studies out there as well that suggest that our immune systems improve with more sleep. And we also decrease the risk of chronic diseases, and it's much better to maintain a healthy weight when we sleep well. So there's some good reasons there. And last but not least, I think we're seeing more and more proof of this, especially after the COVID pandemic. And that's the importance of social connection. Now, I think during COVID, we proved, quote unquote, that we could get through without the same social interactions that we had before, right? We did it. But I think we also found that we were lacking something really important in our lives. So with social interaction and connection, that is a huge support system for people. So when we're having challenging times, when we need to talk to people, when we need to share our feelings, we need people. It's not the same when we're sharing on a Facebook group. Being in the presence of people that we care about and care about us is really important. But that social connection can decrease feelings of loneliness, of course, increase feelings of belonging, and it also helps our communication skills and our empathy, because the more we share and the more we listen, the better we get at communicating. The more we do things, the better we get at them, right? We've talked before about how important it is to communicate our true feelings, even if they're maybe not the pretty feelings, maybe they're the sad feelings, and how we need to talk more about it. Well, this is a perfect example. The more we talk about it, the better we'll get talking about it. And last but not least, social connections can help us add more joy to our lives and also a sense of fulfillment. This doesn't have to be sitting with people. This can look different for all of us. It might mean sports. It might mean hobbies. It might mean sharing meals. But we're creating positive memories. So there you have it. Today's quickie episode was all about 3 daily habits that can contribute to mental health. And your homework is to pick one. Physical activity, sleep, or social connection that you will work on to improve your mental well-being. Stay well and be resilient, my friends, and we'll catch you next time.